Nintendo may have found a effective way to stop piracy, and it's just in time for the Switch 2. Hello everyone, my name is Edrem, animatronic puppet VTuber and content enjoyer, and while I don't normally cover Nintendo topics, because that's Arlo's territory, he's the other blue puppet, we have an unwritten, unspoken, undocumented, because we never actually talked to each other, agreement not to cover each other's turf. Seeing as this talks more about the technical aspects, I thought I'd talk about it a little bit today. Now, Switch 2 has been announced, at least at the time of this video, and everyone's up like, whoa, wow, this is amazing. But also, it's very expensive, and I've seen a lot of people already talk about how they're just going to pirate the games. And Nintendo's ahead of you. Weirdly enough, Nintendo's kind of on the ball with this. They've been making big strides with Switch to get rid of emulators. Now, this comes a little bit too late in the lifespan of the Switch 1, but they did basically destroy Yuzu. Yuzu was one of the best Switch emulators out there. They destroyed the team. They're like, well, you're out of there. You owe us money. And by extension, they also destroyed Citra, seeing as it shared developers. That was a 3DS emulator. And they've got an interesting way that they're doing this, because the argument, generally speaking, is that emulation is legal, right? That's been fought in court before, and it has won way back in the PlayStation 1 days. But that's not really what Nintendo is doing now. Nintendo is not claiming that the emulation is illegal. No, they're claiming that breaking the DRM of their games is what's the problem. And that's a much harder thing to fight, because there's a lot of laws in their favor on this, right? But let's imagine like a little side example. The Steam Deck can run games designed for Windows. Does this using Proton, which is a variant of Wine. Basically, it's emulating a Windows system to get these games to run. Now, if a game required, let's say, a verified, like, you know, a proper Windows system, tried to verify the status and try to get like your key, Steam Deck couldn't run it. If Steam Deck, though, does add something to trick that game into thinking it's a legitimate Windows platform, that could be breaking their DRM, because that's their digital rights management system. So Nintendo are applying the same thing here of, hey, you can make emulators. They'll be able to run the Switch. They'll be able to run the Switch too. You can do all that. But actually getting our games to run on that system will break our DRM, because we have DRM measures in place to try and verify that it's a real physical Switch that it's running on. And it's like, oh, that's really effective. Right? You might have opinions on piracy and that, but the courts are kind of well in their ball for this. In their court for that. Why don't I use court for court? Anyway, it's really hard to defend against, and I don't think it's going to happen. And because the Switch is so much more powerful than the Switch 1, it's going to take a while before we actually see emulators come out that are good enough to run Switch games. Console is quite powerful. It's more powerful than a Steam Deck. And in that time, whenever consoles start to get developed, Nintendo is going to pay a lot closer attention to them to stop them doing this, to stop them being able to run these games. I think the stuff with the Switch 1, I think maybe we got a little bit greedy, right? The fact that people had leaked copies of Legend of Zelda and it was running on the emulator before the real game came out. It's like, yeah, that really pissed off Nintendo, right? Because obviously a lot of people say like piracy is a service issue and stuff like that, but there's way too many people out there now that seem really, really wanting to pirate the game and never buy it. And that's worrying to Nintendo. So they're going after that. They're going to stop that. And yeah, I just want to kind of cover this because I think it's interesting, and also I feel like people still get in the mindset of like, oh, but emulation is legal. Like, but that's not what Nintendo's arguing anymore. Right? That's not what they're arguing. This is their new kind of defense they're going for, and it works so much better. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more of me, I'm always live over on twitch.tv/Edrem. And yeah, all right, goodbye.